With me in today's service are our minister, Reverend Margalie Belizaire, Director of Lifespan Religious Enrichment, Judith Stein-Farrall, Director of Music, Aubrey Connelly-Candelario, and accompanist, Danny Manzan Villegas. We also have our chalice lighter, Marnie, and board member, Beth Tura. And let's not forget our teams of wonderful people in the background working diligently to ensure that we come together this morning. So thank you, thank you. Children will be sung out today after the Time for All Ages portion of the service. We greet you this morning, old friends and new ones, as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to the community. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday in our midst, you are welcome here. Whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcome here. In this community, your whole self is welcome. We welcome your race, national origin, immigration status, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, economic status, or religious background. We welcome you. For more information about our congregation and announcements, please go to orlandouu.org or email info@orlandouu.org. We have a few special announcements today. Today at noon, you're welcome to join Reverend Margalie in the gathering space at 12 p.m. for Let's Talk UU. Bring your favorite poem. From Religious Enrichment, also at noon is a short informational session about OWL, our whole life sexuality education classes that we hope to offer this spring for kids through older adulthood. That's awesome. And if you're interested in the poem discussion, don't skip it, Judith says. She will hang back afterwards for some one-on-one discussions. There is a children's choir rehearsal after the service today in preparation for next week's holiday pageant. Please be sure to send your children to the studio at 11:45. And now, Rachel Gardner and Nikki Drum have a special 3-minute announcement about Winter Wonderland.
That doesn't count. Hello, everybody. Look at all those snowflakes.
What snowflakes?
Oh, the snowflakes that are over in Gore Hall from last night's Magic of Bronze concert, right?
Right. Yes, that was some amazing music. Amazing music. Beautiful spread last night for the Magic of Bronze.
It was, and that concert made me think about wonder. I was thinking about what you had learned recently in One U's history about Eleanor Gordon and Caroline Gore and what wonder exists in that piece of our church's history.
That's right. It was way back in 1911. This is even before World War I. They sat in a living room in Orlando and realized that what this area was going to need, that they could do, was start a church for liberal thinkers. A liberal religion.
Right. And here we are, 112 years later, with that same deep understanding that what this time needs most is the presence of this congregation and this liberal faith, Unitarian Universalism.
So what does that have to do with snowflakes?
Okay. Well, the Winter Wonderland elves are gearing up for the auction in January 2025. It's a winter theme because some of us, hold the mic.
Okay.
Some of us, maybe not you because you were born in Florida, but some of us enjoy winter at least from a distance. Last night was just a preview on how an amazing transformation can take place with imaginative, talented, and dedicated people. Those snowflakes were just the beginning. Right on. Get into it.
And what does that have to do with wonder?
Well, we're talking about Eleanor and Caroline, and they were the foremothers who founded our church. That made me think of the Winter Wonderland auction. I wonder what people will donate.
Oh yeah, I hope there's some cool art.
I wonder if we'll get a seat at the table of one of our friends' delicious dinners that they donate.
Yeah, I love that. Getting a chance to know each other better in a personal setting like that.
I wonder what you're going to donate.
I wonder what you're going to buy.
I wonder what kind of amazing transformations this church will promote over the coming years with the money that the auction raises. Donate and get your tickets now for January 25, 2025.
Thank you, Rachel and Nikki. All other announcements are on slides before and after the service and have links in the weekly update or on our website. If you would like to follow along with the service, please use the QR code shown on the monitor and on the first few slides. Thank you again for being here in person and online today, and happy holidays. Now for our chalice lighting, today Margalie is going to help us. Margalie is in 2nd grade and likes to read the Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tales book series, which you'll have to ask her about afterwards. All right, and so today for our chalice lighting, please say with me these special words by Reverend Sarah Eileen Lawal. These are for today's special guest at your table service. Out of the flames of fear, we rise with the courage of our deepest convictions to stand for justice, inclusion, and peace. Out of flames of scrutiny, we rise to proclaim our faith with hope to heal a fractured world. Out of the flames of doubt, we rise to embrace the mystery, wonder, and awe of all there is and all that is yet to be. Out of the flames of hate, we rise with the force of love, an open-hearted love that celebrates our shared humanity. Out of the flames, we rise. Thank you. Now please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 407. We're going to sit at the welcome table. The words will be projected on the screen.
Done yet, so you might want to remain standing. So what we're doing is there are some lines that were taken of the original song, and so the next 2 verses will be those lines. And the reason I wanted us to sing them now is I'm going to be talking about them in my sermon. So.
know that Unitarian Universalists have been coming together for decades to support human rights through the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee's Guest at Your Table program? During this special program, UUs of all ages learn more about important issues and the groups, or partner organizations, UUSC works together with to advance human rights. Working with community-based groups like UUSC Partners is a great way to get help directly to folks after disasters like a hurricane, and helps make sure the needs that are most important to communities are being met. UUSC works with more than 50 partner organizations around the globe, together responding to humanitarian crises, gender-based violence, persecution of activists, climate change, and more. Guest at Your Table is a chance to get to know our partners and these issues better through learning the stories of 4 people connected to UUSC partners as if we were sharing a meal together. They are the guests in Guest at Your Table. After getting to know the guests, UU spread the word about human rights and raise much needed funds for UUSC partners. From supporting youth leadership trainings, to amplifying their voices to world leaders, to buying needed supplies after a natural disaster, our partners request our help with all sorts of projects that make a difference in their communities. Through Guest at Your Table, Unitarian Universalists form a mighty web that helps support UUSC partners in their important work. Thank you for helping keep this important tradition going strong and joining us in the Guest at Your Table program.
It is really good to be with you this morning as we kick off our participation in the Guest at Your Table program. And as you heard from the video, this service is a long-standing tradition of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. In short, we of course, as UUs, there's always some sort of breaking down of little, UU, for example, UUSC. And just to be clear, I don't know if we missed it at the very beginning. UUSC is basically the branch of our faith tradition that focuses on human rights around the world. And we are hoping that you will, as a family unit or different households, will participate fully in this program. We are starting today. That is December 8th, and we plan on ending on January 12th. And we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later. But that will be the primary focus of our service today. And of course, we are in the month of December, right? And we continue to explore the practice of presence. If you have not looked at the one you feed, your staff and your board president, we've written different articles. All of them speak of, presence, to be present, especially during this time of year. You don't want to miss all the wonderful things we have to say to you. So, and I want to call us basically just keeping in mind as our call to worship, really, just reminding us of just how important it is as part of faith tradition where we believe we are called to justice in the world, that we are called to bringing about the beloved community or work on having the beloved community wherever we are. As a faith tradition where this is such an important call for us, this service is very important to us. So just wanting to let you know how important it is that if you can, if you're willing and able, please participate in this service. And now, our Director of Religious, we have not greeted one another yet, so why don't we do that first? And then Judith will come up and the kids will help with that. So greet one another. And remember, if there is someone you have never seen before, say hello. This is on. Oh, that was good.
Good. How are you? Charlie? Hello. Ah, there we go. It got quiet before I started talking, which was scary. New folks, my name is Judith. I'm the Director of Lifespan Religious Enrichment here at First Unitarian Church of Orlando. And this is the time for all ages where I invite our kids, our children, and our young at heart to join me up here to talk about what we are talking about this morning. And in this case, possibly to help me out. And where the kids may have an issue helping, I may enlist a few adults today. But would any kids, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, I'd love you to come up here. I warned Reverend Margalie this is going to run long. I'm not committed to 3 minutes. I don't want to lose my chocolate. Good morning, everybody. Reverend Margalie showed a video and talked briefly about these boxes. Have you all seen these boxes before? You have? All right. Before I ask you, Jaden, did I hear one of the younger kids say something about, yes? Marnie, right? Marnie. Did you want to tell me what you know about these boxes? You've seen them? Okay, all right. Go ahead, Jade. They're what? Ornament boxes. That's an interesting way. They are kind of ornamental, aren't they? So what we're doing is, for years, how many years did you say we're doing this?
50 years.
50 years. We've been placing these boxes on our dining room tables at home, put together like the one on the dining room table that Reverend Margalie has created for us this morning, so that when we're sitting there having conversations around our dining room tables, possibly our breakfast tables, possibly our dinner tables, we're remembering the service of the UUSC and the work they do for people and social justice issues around the world for us. Inside these boxes are stories for people that they mentioned in the video a little while ago, and an envelope. The idea being that what we would do is, years ago, kids, we used to have a lot of change around the house. Sometimes in our sofa cushions, sometimes in our pockets. And we would take any loose extra cash that we could spare and put it during mealtime, maybe, drop it into these boxes as a way to donate, so the whole family could participate in donating to these causes. Do we all have a lot of pocket change these days? Do you all have pocket change in the house? Do you know what pocket? Oh, you do, yay! I still find it around my house. So the idea today is that sometimes we have pocket change, sometimes we don't, and we can put what we can into the boxes and bring it back next month on January 12th for us to send into the UUSC, or, and you can put change in there, or you can put a check in, or you can mail it in yourself. And I also created for y'all, for families who are interested, certificates for making a commitment, where sometimes it's hard to give, especially for the kids, to give money. They can also make a commitment to do something towards the cause. So what I am about to do is ask the kids to help us distribute these to all the folks in the room, so you can put these on your table. Excuse me? All the households, thank you. And then these coupons, these certificates, I'm going to leave out on the table for those who are interested in adding these to your boxes. It has instructions. out, so when you leave this morning, you can grab them if that's something that suits your family style. All right, who would like to help me distribute the boxes? All right, I am going to ask you to take, I want Jaden come here, and, yep, oh yeah, Reverend Margalie, go ahead.
So this year, as Judith just mentioned, people spend a lot of change around the house, and UUSC is catching up that people are not having as many coins around the house. So they are also added an additional way that you can give. You can give directly online with a web page they have created for us specifically, and the link for that is in the weekly update.
Wait, guys, hold on just a second.
So that's another way. And also, only one per household, okay? So just take one for your household, just one box per household, okay?
Oops, let me take a few more here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Daniele and Jackson and Marnay take this side. I'm going to have Jaden and, I've forgotten your name? Ruby take this side. And who else is helping over here? Are you going to help? Okay, and they'll get you some more some boxes. Do we have some more? And you folks take the middle. Okay? And so if everyone will take, if you feel like you can, and then take them home and then bring them back on January 12th. Jackson, why don't y'all get up and y'all can give out on either side of, handout on either side, right?
All right, why don't I help?
There we go. So why don't you start at the back and work on that
Toward the back, go toward the back since he's up front. And so you can start here, right?
Seems they need more. On this aisle right here, please form a loving arch to sing our children out to their RE classes this morning. I'll meet you out in the left. Thank you.
Well, let's see what board member.
This is so important. They called in a substitute, right? I am Paul Knight. I am a member of the Board of Trustees here at the Unitarian Universalist congregation. We invite you now into the practice of generosity. It is one of our spiritual values which sustains the life and ministries of this church and this community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to give at this time, for it is truly a privilege to be able to do so. And let us be grateful for our own needs, because this gives us the opportunity to practice receiving. Today's full collection goes to the ministries of Orlando 1U. And as always, you can donate at any time to our Share the Plate recipients this month, which is the New Image Youth Center. If you choose to donate online, please let us know if you do so. The offering will now be collected. Thank you so much, Cammie and Danny, for that rendition of On the Meadow. Let us joyfully receive what is offered here today in the spirit of gratitude and fellowship.
Talk about committed. This is the time we set aside for deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. If you have a sorrow that you need witnessed or help with, or a joy you wish to share, please contribute to our collective sharing of joys and sorrows to be shared here with the congregation during the service. You can do so during the week online by email us at joysandsorrows@orlandouu.org. And if you're attending in person, you can see our greeters who are always so welcoming. You can complete a card and they make sure that we receive it up here. The other way we share joys and sorrows is we offer you the opportunity to light a candle for the things you continue to want to hold close to your heart. Welcome. Bring your joys. Bring your sorrows as we come together. Come just as you are, because your whole self is welcome here in this sacred community we are creating together. We have the poinsettias that, I'm so used to pointing to the flowers. The poinsettias, they're so beautiful up here. They will be here for the entire month of December and are given by the flower team. We have a joy from Jeannie Carter. It says, caring for rescue dogs bring me such joy. I just got my 100th foster pug. And a joy from Heather. My great niece was born the day before Thanksgiving, and she is healthy, and so is her mother, as well as adorable and peaceful. I'm so grateful. And we have another joy. Justine and Drew are engaged. Congratulations. And we have if you would send supportive thoughts to the McCleskys. Yesterday, they were in a car accident. They're okay, but the car is totaled. So, yeah, if you could keep them in your thoughts and prayers. So, yes, they were on their way here, actually, to the concert we had last night. Yep. And for all the joys and all the sorrows that are close, that we all hold, whether we share or not share, just know that we are in community together with them. And when we look at the larger community, we want to continue to hold our Orlando community in love, because as our state continues to need comfort and activism to eradicate hate, we also want to hold the larger global community in love as the world continues to be beset by conflicts and community around the world are suffering. And a couple of other things. Be mindful that this month is Drunk and Drugged Driving Prevention Month. So if you know someone or if you're in need of help, or please reach out to people in your life that you trust. It's also Seasonal Depression Awareness Month. Again, something else that suffering alone cannot be good. So if you are in moments when you can, please reach out. And of course, you can reach out to us here at 1U as well. It is World AIDS Day. It is International Day of Persons with Disabilities. And, just kind of like wanted to mention this group because the world still continues to be a challenge for many people with disability, physical disability to move about, because not everywhere provide the proper access to folks. And just coincidentally, it is Human Rights Day this week. And we are, of course, doing our UUSC service, and their focus is human rights. So for all the joys and sorrows of this community, shared today and those held close to the heart, let us pray, let us celebrate, and let us send each other healing energy. The other thing, as I said earlier, we talked about this month, we are practicing presence. And I invite us into a short guided meditation, more of a body scan meditation by Lorraine Stevens. So sit as comfortably as you can in the way that suits you when you are participating or practicing things such as these. Now, focus your attention on the parts of the body which are closest to the earth for a minute. Scan your attention slowly upwards. And just notice what your body is telling you. If you need to shift to sit a little bit more comfortably, do so. But just notice what is going on with the lower part of your body. And now focus your attention in the center of the body, where air becomes breath, where what is not you becomes you, where the line between blurs and a flow without ceasing. Notice what your center is telling you. Our bodies do so much for us. Sometimes we don't even notice all that they do. Just notice your center for a minute. Now scan your attention slowly upwards. Focus your attention at the top of your body, where feelings become thought and thought become action. And now, if your eyes are closed, slowly open them and return to this space where we are together. And I invite you now to come forward and light a candle of remembrance, loving kindness for human rights. We will light our first candle for those joining us online. And then we will light the last one for the things, the joys and the sorrows we continue to hold close.
and set the table. People look, eat, and sing today. Love the guest is on the
Welcome to Guests at Your Table. We invite you to take a seat and meet the unstoppable organizations leading the protection of human rights and social justice around the world. First, we welcome Joe Jickham, an organization from the Marshall Islands playing a key role in Pacific youth climate engagement. For example, this past year, Joe Jickham's youth staff, who are all under 25 years old, led and produced the National Adaptation Plan. The plan is a major climate policy document that includes strategies to help adapt to the effects of climate change over the next 50 to 100 years. The plan is backed by research. Through surveys, outreach, interviews, and even art, the youth coordinators gathered the data needed to make informed policy recommendations for generations to come. Next, we welcome the Pink Haven Coalition. We have seen the legislative, social, and judicial environment in the United States growing increasingly hostile and fascist. In response, Pink Haven works together to create networks of safety and direct support for trans beloveds and their families to flee unsafe states, access gender-affirming health care, or stay as safe as possible where they are. Our next guest is Queer Spit. Over the last year, the organization helped over 1,030 people of the LGBTQ+ and BIPOC communities of Ukraine and neighboring countries to safety in response to Russia's full-scale invasion. Queer Spit helps to build legal cases, provide asylum consultations, support people to plan their migration, and provide humanitarian aid. For example, last year, with the help of Queer Spit, a queer couple was able to escape Kyiv and move to Canada, where they got married. Our last guest is the Haitian Bridge Alliance. The Haitian Bridge Alliance advocates for fair and humane immigration policies and provides people in migration with humanitarian, legal, and social services with a particular focus on Black people, the Haitian community, women and girls, LGBTQIA+ individuals, and survivors of torture and other human rights abuses. This year, the organization is working with UUSC to research the disparate treatment of Black asylum seekers within the U.S. immigration system. The project will provide a deep understanding of issues such as detention length, conditions in detention centers, family separation, and experiences during credible fear interviews. UUSC remains in firm solidarity with all of our partnering organizations, and we can't wait for you to learn more about our esteemed guests through our Guests at Your Table.
We gather today in gratitude and purpose. Before us stands a table, set with intention, yet with one seat left open. This seat is not empty by accident. It is reserved for the unseen, the unheard, and the marginalized. It is a reminder of our shared call to extend the welcome table. It is a reminder of our shared call to justice and dignity. Today, we will reflect on the work of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. And as we do that, we ask a question: who is not at the table? And how might we invite them in? For our opening hymn today, we sang, "Gonna Sit at the Welcome Table." Quite appropriate song for our service today. And some of the lyrics, the earlier part of, we broke it in two. The first part, we talked about sitting at the welcome table, and all kinds of people will be at the welcome table. Even in these lyrics, though, we acknowledge that not everyone is welcome at the welcome table, as it speaks to the future. It says gonna, something which means something that hasn't happened yet, and that is the reality. We know that in this world, not everyone is welcome at the table, especially those who need to be welcomed the most. So something about the lyrics to this hymn. The original lyrics were created by the enslaved Black people who used to sing this song in celebration of God's welcome, a joyous hospitality to be enjoyed by all, as UUSC President Reverend Mary Catherine Moore notes. It also spoke of God's justice with regards to their abusers or their oppressors. Reverend Moore further notes that some verses have been left out or have been sanitized, even in our own hymnal. The first two verses we sing were from our own hymnal, but here are verses, the second two that we did, they were left out. And not just in our hymnal, just in general. I'm going to tell God how you treat me. I'm going to tell God how you starve me. Because maltreatment of others and withholding from them what they need to survive are also ways of excluding people from the welcome table. And even though these lyrics were written such a long time ago, if you read them today, they apply. And later, this song was also used during the civil rights movement, and activists added lyrics such as, "I'm going to be a registered voter, and I'm going to sit at the Woolworth counter." Anybody remember? All right, good. I don't have to explain the Woolworth counter to most, but it used to be this very popular 5 and dime store. Again, reference to table, right? Sitting, eating. Tables are powerful symbols. Around them, we share meals, stories, and the intimacy of community. Yet, not all tables are open. Too often, the most vulnerable, the displaced, the silenced, and the oppressed find themselves excluded from decision-making spaces where their fates are decided. And as in the case in our opening hymn, they can find the very words they use to voice their plight are muffled or camouflaged to be more presentable. This is the question at the heart of our reflection today. Who is missing when human rights are discussed? Who bears the greatest weight of injustice, yet is denied the power to shape the solutions? And how might we, as a people of faith, extend our table to them? For 50 years, UUSC has been doing just that, expanding the welcome table. Through its Guest at Your Table program, UUSC has connected Unitarian Universalism with grassroots partners around the world who are leading the charge for human rights. These partnerships reflect our shared values of pluralism, justice, and equity. That is, declaring that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness, that celebrating all are sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology, are working to be a diverse, multicultural, beloved community where all can thrive. These partners have a commitment to justice and the courage to act when others might turn away. This year's theme, Expanding the Welcome Table, reminds us that the work is ongoing. And as is usually the case for USC, they usually highlight 4 leaders within an organization. This year, it's 3 leaders, and then an organization specifically. 3 leaders within these organizations, and then one, it's the whole organization. So the first person you heard from the video, some information was given about George Jikum, and this is Konia Ishimura, who is a climate activist in the Marshall Islands. We also have Anna Maria Tesfaye, who is the co-founder of Queer Fits, an organization offering resources and companionship to the queer community in Ukraine, who have been impacted by the war in Ukraine. We also have Suleiman Wellings Longmore, and he's a legal fellow with the Haitian Bridge Alliance. His work primarily is around researching the way racism is impacting the experiences of migrants of color in the United States. And then Pink Haven Coalition, which creates networks of safety and welcome for trans and gender expansive people who are forced to flee unsafe states in the US. And you can read more about these partners in this. I believe every household received one of these, so you can read more about them here. So from young climate activists in the Marshall Islands addressing the long shadow of nuclear testing to LGBTQ+ leaders in Ukraine navigating the ravages of war, UUSC's partners are answering the call to justice in the most challenging of circumstances. Consider the open seat at your table. Is it for the Haitian migrant navigating the complexities of racism in a new land? Is it for the trans organizer creating space havens in a hostile environment? Is it for the climate activist whose island home is disappearing beneath the waves? They are not our guests in the truest sense. They are essential partners bringing insight and leadership we cannot afford to ignore. Unitarian Universalism calls us to action. Our faith reminds us that justice is not optional, it is essential. Human rights are not abstract ideals, they are sacred promises we make to one another. Yet, promises require action to be fulfilled. Through UUSC, we are called to stand in solidarity with those who are too often left out of the conversation. Our tradition compels us to listen to their stories, amplify their voices, and resource their leadership. The Guests at Your Table program is one way we answer this call. Not only raising funds, but cultivating a spiritual practice of radical hospitality and global partnership. And who are our guests? As we participate in the Guests at Your Table for the next few weeks, as we set the table, let us remember that our guest is not a passive recipient of charity. They are a leader, an organizer, a visionary. In their resilience, they teach us. In their struggle, they inspire us. And in their presence, they transform us. To truly expand the welcome table, we must examine who's not only missing, but why. Who benefits from their exclusion? How have systems of power been designed to keep certain voices out? And what are we willing to do to change that? So we have a role. First, we must commit to learning. Let us hear stories of UUSC partners and understand the context in which they work. Second, we must resource this vital work through programs like Guests at Your Table. Every contribution strengthens the grassroots leadership that is already transforming communities. Finally, we must embody this practice of inclusion in our daily lives? Who is missing from our tables, literally and metaphorically? In our congregations, our workplaces, and communities, are we making room for those who are marginalized? Beloveds, the table is set, but our work is far from finished. As we celebrate 50 years of USC's work, let us recommit ourselves to the vision of a truly inclusive global table. May we be inspired by the courage of those who sit with us, and may we honor those who still wait for their invitation. Together, let us expand the welcome table until all are included, all are heard, and all are free. May we be so blessed. I invite us now to rise in body or spirit and sing our closing hymn, number 318, We Would Be One. Our thresholds and gladly offer space at our table. May we look to join with all justice seekers, offering welcome, hospitality, and solidarity. Liberation is not the freedom of a few, but the joyful realization of possibility for all. Blessed be and amen. Beloveds, worship has ended, and now the service truly begins. And I think you know what the call to action is going to be. Participate fully for the next about 30 days in the UUSC Guests at Your Table program. The other one is just a reminder that we are practicing presence this month. So, with everything going around, everything we're running around doing, remember to take the time to just be present, be in the moment. May we be so blessed.
Please say these words with me as we extinguish this chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.